A very warm welcome to this afternoon's session on day 2 in Gibraltar, the Inspire Sport Netball Europe U17 Challenge event at the Tercentenary Sports Hall. We have 2 more international matches to bring you live this afternoon, so don't miss a minute of the netball. Day 1 demonstrated just how competitive the Under-17 event is this year, and day 2 has not disappointed. We have seen some great games of netball from all 5 competing nations this weekend: host Gibraltar, Republic of Ireland, Switzerland, Malta and Isle of Man. Here on day 2, both Switzerland and Isle of Man have emerged as the strong contenders, both undefeated. Switzerland with 3 out of 3 under the belts, and Isle of Man have taken 2 wins and no losses. I'm Lynn Carpenter, and I'm delighted to be joined by Bryony Ravino, captain of Gibraltar's Open team, here in the commentary box this afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
So, Bryony, good game we're expecting this afternoon. We kick off live at 4 o'clock local time. Gibraltar versus the Isle of Man. How do we expect that to go?
To be honest, I think it could be anyone's game. We saw Isle of Man beat Ireland 45-31 this morning. It was a very interesting match. At times, Ireland crept up on them. I think it could be anyone's game. I think it's all down to focus and tactics.
So we'll shortly be bringing you the starting 7, but as you can see, 2 games so far today, 2 more to bring you live this afternoon. Isle of Man 45-31 against Ireland, and then Switzerland took on Malta 79-17. So Switzerland will be watching this game with interest. Gibraltar had a really tough game against them yesterday. At times there was nothing in it. The Gibraltarians were ahead for a period of time, but Switzerland didn't stop coming back at them and eventually took that game 38-31. So they'll all be watching to see what happens in this one. Gibraltar will want to come out and take the win. Isle of Man will want to stay undefeated.
Definitely. I think it was obviously a pity Gibraltar losing out yesterday, but we did say yesterday that Switzerland came back so strong, especially in that second half. And they were in it to win it. They never gave up. They fought for every ball. Gibraltar now have to put that game to one side and focus on what they have to do to achieve a win against the Isle of Man today.
And when these 2 teams met in October last year at the Netball Europe Under-17, Gibraltar 29, Isle of Man 39. So a game of defensive end, a lot of pressure on both teams, very little between it then. Expect to see something similar today.
I hope so. I hope it's a good match, especially on our end as well, because it's always good to be able to see a good match. But like I said, I don't know who's going to come out with a win. I think they need to focus, as I mentioned, and let's see who wins.
So we know there's a lot at stake here this weekend, so it's not only the winner of the challenge section emerging tomorrow on Sunday when we complete the tournament with our last 2 matches, but that coveted place in the Under-17 Championship next year. There's so much to play for this afternoon.
Of course, whoever wins this challenge section goes up to the championship section, so I think that's just an opportunity in itself.
So we will be bringing you now the starting 7 for both teams this afternoon.
Gibraltar and the Isle of Man. Would you please welcome onto the court Gibraltar?
So the starting 7 for Gibraltar this afternoon: goal shooter Truman Davis, goal attack Garo, wing attack Zamet, centre their captain Hernandez, Pozo in at wing defence, McQuiston at goal defence, and goalkeeper is Hartman. Their coach is Joel Marino.
And now, an equally warm welcome to the Isle of Man.
So the starting 7 for the Isle of Man today: goal shooter Cook, goal attack Devol, wing attack Leek, their captain Jacqueline Charter at centre, Williams at wing defence, Bitsy at goal defence, and goalkeeper is Shepherd. Their coach is Emma Williams, and we'll shortly be getting the match here underway. Game 3, day 2. The umpires for today are Katie Howell and Megan Samuel. The reserve umpire, Lynette Wall.
And the third official
we go with a Gibraltar centre pass. They had every opportunity yesterday against Switzerland to close that match out. Brian, it must have been tough for you to watch it.
It was, especially obviously as I've been training against some of them as well. And it's just like those silly unforced errors that they did at times. And who knows, with those unforced errors, it could have come up with a win. But
there we go, great start there. Truman Davis under the post, nice reverse pivot by her. 1-0 Gibraltar.
I do think that Isle of Man are quite patient. Unfortunately intercepted there.
So they started really strongly yesterday, Gibraltar. They're playing with purpose, you can see that.
They did, they had a good first half, and I don't know whether it was fitness levels but then they didn't come up as strong as Switzerland did in the second half.
So 1-0 Gibraltar lead, very early stages in this match, which we're expecting to be very exciting. So Pozo.
An obstruction call.
Jacqueline Charter to take it, very calm in that centre row for Isle of Man. Cook. Again, she had a really good game this morning.
She did.
Against Ireland.
Now Ireland get it back on Gibraltar's.
Both teams are going to want to avoid those unforced errors.
Those are the ones we were talking about yesterday, those silly unforced errors.
So Garrow doesn't quite fall for her. Oops. Shepherd will bring it in. Just too long for Jacqueline Charter, but she picked it up. And we see that quick transitional movement into attack.
It's the same one we saw earlier.
Duval starts her game well. 2-1 to Isle of Man. Their centre pass. We've talked a lot in this tournament about the importance of keeping your centre pass and scoring off it early in this game.
Indeed. We recently came back from Hong Kong, and that's one of the emphases that we were told. It's just you have to stop their runs as well.
So Isle of Man 3, Gibraltar 1. Can't help but feel the strength of the crowd behind us, cheering their side on.
But Isle of Man stays true. They have their hands as soon as they get the ball. They're not making it easy at all.
They're very well disciplined. They get feet first, distance, then hands. Jacqueline Charter at centre for Isle of Man, particularly effective.
Yes, she's so keen, instrumental in bringing the ball up as well.
So Gibraltar struggling at these early stages to make an impact. 4-1.
And this is what we were talking about earlier. You need to counter-attack and come up with your safest way of bringing the ball up the court now.
So if they've been watching this game, they'll have seen that Cook for Isle of Man constantly cuts that back line, so the defenders have got to shut the back door.
Yes, as a keeper, you need to try and figure out what you can do to obviously cut that baseline, and if she loves it, she'll get in, she'll shoot. She's confident enough to do so.
Nice front cut by Duval, giving Isle of Man 2 options there. Good start by them. They lead 6-1, 4 minutes gone on the clock so far.
Nice hands there by McQuiston.
Better defence by Gibraltar. Now, can they settle? Pozo.
Just another interception. They just are making it so difficult for Gibraltar's transition up along the court.
Seen quite a lot of those footwork faults in this game.
We saw a few yesterday, probably I think we saw about 4, one after the other.
So you can see the nerves out there in the early stages. Bryony, neither team really settling in completely.
No.
Great vision there by Leith taking the option under the post.
And a contact called.
Good rebound position by McQuestion. It's interesting to see Gibraltar being the tall defenders out there.
Doesn't happen that often, which is the first.
So you've got height in the circle for Gibraltar. Just need to keep driving onto the ball. Once they stop, the Isle of Man are all over them.
Yes, they obviously have to come towards the ball. They can't just wait for the ball to come to them.
And don't forget, if you're joining us and watching from home, use our hashtag NEU17 challenge. We will be reading them out during the game. Love to hear from you during this match, see what your thoughts are on the tournament.
The pressure they apply, we've just seen Jack and Jaffa.
I think the crowd feeling that perhaps the advantage should have been given.
Yes. And Garro making it 6-3 for Isle of Man, so they're just three down. They have to try and get it back.
Unlucky by Poser, she didn't quite get round clean. Right idea. Vision into the circle again.
They have the ability to just feed the ball. It doesn't have to be on the circle edge.
Interesting how the two defenders are helping themselves maintain that clean lane by holding arms. Is that something you've introduced, Bryony?
To be honest, I think that's something that I've seen them do all along, so it's not something that they've been told to do. They play together at club level as well, so they're quite used to doing that. Good rebound there by Truman Davies.
Oh, that's the fourth. Okay.
She has to make it count.
That could prove costly. 6-3 they could have done with that one. They're going to need to turn it over, win the ball back, but Shepherd brings it out for Isle of Man.
At this age, it's so important to focus, and when they've actually missed a few shots, you just have to carry on going.
So the students are going to have to come through, which they try to. Hartman there. She's okay. Double penalty. So instead of 6-4, we now have 7-3. Costly misses, perhaps by Gibraltar.
And their centre pass. They're struggling to get the ball along the court. They've got so much pressure from the Isle of Man.
Well held by Hernandez, captain for Gibraltar.
Good position in there by the wing attack. Samet and a feed inside.
Yeah, great roll by Truman Davis. We're going to have that one. 7-4.
You can already see the goal shooter just swinging from one side of the baseline to the other.
Gibraltar worked hard for the turnover. Bit of a confusion with the two shooters, rotation-wise. Nice shoulder dodge there by Truman Davis. Better by Gibraltar, 7-5. They're definitely keeping in reach, and their centre pass. Let's see what they can do now.
They have a chance of making it, just narrowing it down to one.
Hernandez looking in. Just those sometimes wrong choice of ball to give.
They need to just think for a second. They do have 3 seconds to throw the ball and pass the ball. So yes, they need to focus. Nice footwork call there.
So
sometimes it's difficult to see as an umpire.
Great ball in
by Hernandez.
So this makes this game even more interesting than it already was. 4.5 left in this first quarter. 1 goal in it. Isle of Man leads Gibraltar.
I think Gibraltar aren't as nervous as they started. They seem to be a little edgy at the beginning. But nonetheless, Switzerland have kept up that defensive role.
So they've got forced another turnover, Gibraltar. Oh, just again, it's that last pass into the circle, which isn't quite weighted correctly at this moment in time.
And it's probably the most crucial pass you'll ever make. They get a second chance, so hopefully they're able to convert.
Going to keep their ball clean, watch the spaces. That was lucky by Isle of Man. Tip coming off one of their own players, kept it on the court. I think Gibraltar expected it to go out. Just a bit late there by Pozo. Well read.
Another unforced error. We're just seeing one after the other.
Somebody, you just want to get hold of the game and control the ball. So 8-6. Isle of Man leading Gibraltar. Like we saw in October last year, it's highly competitive between these two sides.
I think obviously Gibraltar lost to Switzerland yesterday, but then Isle of Man have to play against them tomorrow. So everyone's in it for some reason. So
in it to win it, surely. Well read by McQuiston there. She saw that Jacqueline Charger was trying to just pop it into the pocket.
It was a nice switch as well, obviously, because Hartman didn't stick with our player, and McQuiston got that interception. I do feel that Gibraltar still have to go towards that ball. They can't expect that ball to come towards them.
I think we're seeing when they do drive on to the ball and give a couple of options, it's much stronger than using that aerial ball. Just, again, not anticipating where Isle of Man's hands are. Not getting clean ball through to the shooters.
They are quite athletic and agile, so it doesn't mean just because they're not with you that they won't come round and steal that ball from you. A replay ball by the wing attack late. So let's see whether Gibraltar can convert. I think it's been a long centre pass.
I think it has, and it's been back and forward between both of these sides some time now. 1 goal in it, 1 minute on the clock. Can she level it? She can do. 8 goals each, that could be really important. Go shooter rightly. Truman Davis just indicating a minute. Take it calm.
Could be the first time that Gibraltar is in the lead in this match, but then again it's 44 seconds, so
they want to score off this one. Look after the ball. Cleanly taken there by Williams. Crucial interception, but again, footwork. So well done. Christian making sure she complies with the umpire's placing of the penalty. We've got to turn and give her some options here.
10 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
A penalty.
So, Garrow. Take it. So, we end this first quarter on day 2 between Gibraltar and the Isle of Man. 8 goals each. But probably a story of 2 different teams here, Bryony.
I think so. Gibraltar took a while for them to actually get into the match. They have been getting progressively better. Isle of Man are quite key in the way and structured in the way they bring up the ball. But there are so many unforced errors, and I think the main unforced error that we see is footwork. So it'd be interesting if they actually look back and see what it is. Is it a delayed takeoff? Is it a drag-in? So we have seen that throughout the tournament, and that's probably something that needs to be addressed.
And if we compare the shooting opportunities, Gibraltar definitely have had the most attempts at goal, but their conversion rate has not been as effective. Isle of Man, less attempts, but when they do get the ball in the circle, they're scoring more frequently.
Yeah, Gibraltar are struggling getting the ball into the circle. Isle of Man have that easy feed and doesn't actually need to be by the circle edge. We have seen their wing attack feed the ball in just comfortably. Gibraltar need to apply that pressure, as we mentioned the baseline earlier, and Gibraltar need to convert on their end once they get the ball there.
So it looks to me like there is a change coming along. Looks like Cook might be going to goal attack, bringing on some height there in the circle for Isle of Man. Probably not a surprise when we saw the height differential between the 2 teams.
Yes, like I said earlier, it doesn't tend to happen. Gibraltar is quite a small nation in that sense. We're not as tall. But on this occasion, they had to counter-attack to figure out what the best matchup for that would be. I do see another change as well in the Gibraltar side. I believe Perkis Gallen is coming in on wing attack, if I'm not mistaken.
So we'll bring you all those official substitutions as soon as we get them from the bench. But expect to see changes here on the court. Isle of Man against Gibraltar, 8-all. In this first quarter. We know this could be a deciding match. Switzerland, 3 from 3 so far. They go into the final day to play Isle of Man tomorrow. So of course, if Gibraltar do come out victorious in this game, all sorts of connotations could emerge if then Isle of Man beat Switzerland.
Yes, and then this will happen last year here in Gibraltar when 3 teams were tied. I think it's probably one of the first times that I played and seen a tie, and then it obviously goes on to goal difference.
It does. So Maggie Jackson will be ready with her calculator.
See the coaches there giving them some tips by units.
So Isle of Man up first, ready to take to the court.
We did mention this yesterday. At what point as a coach you make that swap? And it's such a difficult decision because that decision can go one way or the other. And I wouldn't want to be in their shoes right now.
So low scoring this first quarter, reflecting what happened last year when these 2 teams met. We ended that game 39-29. So it seemed to be that same level of competitiveness between them.
Definitely wasn't a high-scoring game, and obviously the first quarter 8-8. Let's just hope we see the same level of fitness carry on and continue.
So Isle of Man start this quarter with their centre pass. So dead ball situation there.
Good pressure there by Hartman, forcing the ball out, not being able to get a rebound.
So different style of play now for Isle of Man. They've got a bit of a target in there, their girl shooter. So I think dragging ball there, so Gibraltar keep possession. So Perkis Gallen on, just a bit too much on that one.
Good positioning by Perkis Gallen there to be able to feed the ball in to Garrow, making it 9-8 to Gibraltar. So it's the first time that Gibraltar are actually ahead.
The give and go again. Jacqueline Shoutlin finding Cook out in her new position there. Just not quite the right.
A nice tip there by McQuestion, and another interception there by Hernandez, forcing the ball out to court.
Great interception by McQuestion. She timed that beautifully, moved her feet round, clean to take that tip, no body contact. Good take by Perkis Gallen.
Contact there by Garrow on the goal defence. Who now is Shepherd, was playing goalkeeper earlier.
Yeah, so Turner's come in at goalkeeper for the Isle of Man. Nice tip there by Garrow. Pitsy now out at wing defence.
Interesting to see 6 changes, I believe, by the Isle of Man, just a centre staying in their position.
Yeah, for 8 all to run the changes, it's a good tactic perhaps by the coach to unsettle Gibraltar before they really get going in this quarter. Or of course it could be a challenge for her team to settle down.
Yeah.
Look at it both ways.
You could, but obviously it shows how versatile they are, and they're able to make these changes and still continue. Good pressure there by Perkis Gallen.
Jacqueline Charter just unfortunately couldn't stop there. That was just lateness on her intercept.
And Garrow making it 11-8 to Gibraltar.
So Gibraltar with the nose ahead in this one.
Another footwork.
Yeah.
Should actually check to see how many footwork calls during the tournament. Be interesting to see.
I think we'd find there's an awful lot. It's that late takeover when a player thinks they've done a split landing and then moves their foot again and they haven't done.
It's that drag in.
Yeah.
And obviously you need to have a good core to be able to play netball, and especially when it's such an intensity as it is and a match is so intense. You need to be able to control. Replay ball, I think, by the looks of it.
So Hernandez. Truman Davis with a penalty. Shepherd judged to be leaning on her player there. Good tenacity being shown by this Gibraltar team. 12-8 in this game.
I think they are having a better quarter this quarter than the one they started originally. I don't know whether it is the amount of subs that they've done or changes that they've done. But Gibraltar getting that rebound there again.
So Isle of Man will potentially be disappointed with this. No score yet in this quarter, 6 minutes in. Gibraltar taking the time.
They are being much more patient now.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Seems as it took them a quarter to settle into the match, but it is working out.
Garrow looking to swing. Truman Davis. Good hands there by Jacqueline Charter.
It's another unforced error there. I don't know whether they're tired. They had a match earlier this morning, and it is quite warm outside. There are some other factors that could come into play, but then again, you never know.
So certainly not performing to the same standard they've done previously. Again, a replayed ball, just ball handling errors, unforced errors, footwork, throwing the ball out the side. There's a lot actually. There's some really good things in here, and those unforced errors mean that there's some really good coaching opportunities to cut out those, which will really help the players.
I think whenever you see the match back and you realise the amount of errors that you've done and what you could have got from them. And there's another error there. Obviously, McQuiston being able to get the ball. Not much pressure on her now, bringing the ball up the court as well.
So 7.5 minutes, half this quarter gone, and Isle of Man yet to score. Shepherd just slightly late.
In some of their calls of contact, they are being called up for, it seems that they're arriving slightly late. Could be that they're tired as well, not being able to get there as quickly. But you can see a different team that were also in the first quarter.
So Gibraltar 13, Isle of Man 8.
Some good feeding there by Perkins Gallen as well.
And the gap now goes to 14. Isle of Man centre pass. This is so uncharacteristic of what we've seen from them so far this tournament.
I was saying earlier how I watched them play and they had such a style playing and they were able to get the ball up along the court so easily. I don't know whether it's the pressure that Gibraltar are applying or tiredness, as mentioned earlier, but that's their first goal.
First goal. So 14 plays 9. Gibraltar looking to keep it safe. 3 seconds called, better by Isle of Man.
You do need calls like that to be able to give you the confidence that you can do it. Just applying pressure gets you these calls at your advantage.
So they want to bring it in again.
And another baseline run.
Yeah, Cook has been really effective at doing that all the event so far, taking on the role of shooting. We haven't yet seen Neil settle into the game, have a shot at the post. 14-9, 6 minutes to go. 6-1 this quarter, really low scoring.
I think we're going to probably see quite similar to the last score in October, where it was 29 to Gibraltar, 39 to Isle of Man. Seems an injury.
So Pozo swapping to centre. Menendez going to bench by the looks of it.
And Gaetano coming in as wing defence. Oh, lovely read there by McQuiston. A nice roll.
Well taken by Cook, their goal attack. So pulls another one back. 14-10. We saw yesterday Gibraltar didn't capitalise completely on their lead. That looked suspiciously like a footwork.
You do have to score off your centre pass, and sometimes it's difficult and you have to fight back. But yes, obviously now you can see Isle of Man being a bit more tenacious as well, going for each ball. It's taken them just over 10 minutes to get into this quarter. I don't know whether it is the amount of subs they've done and it's taken this long.
So 14-10, Gibraltar leave Isle of Man. There's only 4 in it at this stage. 4.5 minutes left on the clock. 6-2 in this quarter. So 15-10 now. We will update the scoreboard there for you on screen. Isle of Man do have 10 goals.
A nice feed there by Posso. She was able to get to the circle edge quickly.
So good timely turnover by Isle of Man. But another one of those unforced ball handling errors.
Obstruction by Hartman, so Cook taking that shot, quickly feeding outside to their centre, Jacqueline Chaffer.
So there is a balance between the shooters needing to be in a comfortable position, but every time they pass out, they've missed that opportunity. Difficult call. Neil not really giving an option in there. Cook picking it up.
The defence are actually making it difficult to get the ball in. McQuiston is taller than Cook.
Hartman did a good job there as well. So it's still 15-10, 3 minutes to go until half-time here at the Tercentenary Sports Hall in Gibraltar.
Footwork. Just under 3 minutes to go.
Not going to quite make that one. Good to see these players going for everything. Just need to work on their timing slightly.
Sometimes it's just the positioning that you have on court, so you just have to, like they say, 3 seconds, 3 angles, just carry on moving.
So great shot by Cook. 15-11, Gibraltar lead, but Isle of Man centre pass again. Nice cut again on the back line. Unfortunate shoe footwork then.
It was a nice drive through the baseline, but unfortunately another footwork called. Good that Gahra came up for that ball. There wasn't anyone there available, so she obviously brought in a player with her. But now Gibraltar penalised on the other side.
So just a minute and a half left in this go. You might be forgiven for thinking, if you've just joined us, that's the first quarter because of the score, but we're almost at half-time here. 15-11.
Good hands there by Hartman once again. Seems as she's keen to get that ball and intercept that ball. Quick to read.
Ozo did well to hold that. Very competitive in there. Nice pop to Truman Davis. Will she take that to 16 for Gibraltar? Truman Davis will.
And the ball to centre now. 1 minute to go.
Oh, you can see that coming.
Footwork again.
Great interception. Just got to plant her feet.
It's just the finish.
Again, as we've said all weekend, for a lot of these players, it's the first time they'll have played at this level, under this pressure, with some of those tricky balls, with those defenders on their backs.
Yes, I don't know how much pressure other countries get in when playing in the local league. Some of the youngsters here don't get as much pressure, so it is difficult all of a sudden to step it up, especially as that age, everyone matures differently.
So look at the speed of Jacqueline Charter there, but great defending by Pozo. Really clear. Oh, that baseline drive again by Cook. Penalty pass we talked about earlier. Don't give them away at the end of the quarter, because that's what happens.
And it's a no goal apparently. The umpire, from the umpire's signal, that's what it seems like.
The umpire didn't give the ball. The goal. No goal. We are seeing that confirmed by the umpire. So at half-time, Gibraltar lead this game 17-11 against Isle of Man. So in terms of the score in that quarter, 9-3, much stronger by Gibraltar.
Yes, I think Gibraltar have finally woken up, if you want to say. The first quarter wasn't their best start, but that's when you think that you have to start strong all the time. You can't just rely on quickness or agility, or if you're taller than the other players, that you need to start strong just from the beginning. Isle of Man haven't been as lucky. They've been called a few times on their footwork, and they just need to focus and think on how they're going to land, which is the landing foot, no dragging, and just try and convert those goals.
So plenty to play for in this game. We know this is going to be one of the key matches over the weekend. Gibraltar were disappointed with their loss to Switzerland yesterday when they dominated the game. They were 12 up at half time. That gap was clawed back to only 6 at three-quarter time, and then Switzerland took the game 38-31. So we can't look at this and think by any stretch of the imagination that this is over at all.
At all. There's still another 30 minutes to go, and everyone has to come back strong and focus and think of what they've actually been told to do on court.
So let us show you now some of those highlights from the first half this game, and we'll be back with you shortly. So I hope you enjoyed those few minutes of the action from this game. Game 3 on day 2 here between Gibraltar and Isle of Man. Gibraltar in the lead 17-12 at this stage in the game. So 5 in it, anything to play for. We looked at those changes that Isle of Man made at quarter time. Bryony, possibly not that convincing?
Yes, there were 6 changes. But it obviously took them some time to get into it. But let's see now whether they make any changes back to what the first quarter. And I can't say that the last goal does stand, even though I think from the umpires, what the umpire's signal was, but it does stand.
Which is why we're only a 5-goal gap. We went away for a few minutes and came back at half-time and another goal appeared. How did that happen? So, Gibraltar have made just a couple of changes to their centre court. They've stuck with their shooting and defensive lineup. That seemed to help to settle them in the second quarter of that game, Bryony.
Yes, I don't know whether they're going to be making any changes now because it did take them a quarter to settle in. But that's a risk that a coach has to take. Unfortunately, the Isle of Man did those changes in the second quarter, and it didn't go to their way as well. So let's see whether they bring on the first 7 that they had on court. It seemed to be working. They did put a lot of pressure on Gibraltar in the first quarter.
So remember, if you are joining us, and there are many, many of you who are today, send us your messages, hashtag NEU17 challenge. We would love to hear from you. So Dawson Redmond, who is actually over here in Gibraltar, still tweeting us from here. Looking forward to seeing the Republic of Ireland play later this evening against Malta. Sue Webster also with us, and Donna Craig supporting the Gibraltar team as well. So we are soon to rejoin this match. We will bring you the changes from the benches once we have the official lineup. We saw yesterday against Switzerland when Gibraltar played, they were up and then they didn't cope as well with the pressure of Switzerland coming back and taking the points one by one away from them. And then once they got their nose ahead, I think the confidence of the Gibraltar side seemed to reduce quite significantly.
Yes, I think it does happen in senior level. It happened last year as well, a few matches that we were winning and then it was just a narrow few points difference. So it's something that we need to work on as well as an association, and we have to keep up with our targets and try and stop those runs, as they say. So as soon as they've made 2 or 3, what are you going to do to counter attack?
So do you think Gibraltar Netball Association have enjoyed hosting the event this weekend?
Yes, I think Moira and her team, obviously, yes. If you give this to Moira every year, she'll love it because she loves it. I don't think she sleeps at all. I wouldn't want to share a room with her in any competition because she wouldn't let you sleep, because she's always thinking 2 steps ahead of what they can do. But they enjoy it so much, and you can tell that obviously there are a lot of volunteers here as well. For myself and the senior squad, we would come down to support the girls, and we just want to inspire them and be role models because they can do anything they set their mind to.
I think that's really important, and your support here for the younger players, the young athletes, is really important. Moira was telling me earlier that she went home last night after a long day here, made a korma, did some washing, washed the floor, prepared for today, and finally went to bed.
And did a lasagna as well.
And that's right, and made a lasagna for today. I take my hat off to her.
Yes, her brain's always ticking, and she's always coming up with these ideas, which we're so grateful and thankful for having her.
I think she was saying to me earlier today she's been president, is it 26 or 27 years now?
I think it's just over 25, so it must be, yes.
Yeah, wow. Incredible volunteers that make our wonderful sport what it is. So we're underway here, 3rd quarter. Gibraltar in the lead, 17-12, but the hands of Jacqueline Charter very effective in there.
No changes seen from Gibraltar.
So we have got a change there for the Isle of Man shooting lineup.
Yes, actually, sorry. The captain Hernandez is coming in as centre, replacing Pozo.
And as we can see, Neen is now on goal attack for Isle of Man, and Cook has moved back to goal shooter. So looking to steady the ship there. 17-14. Who will settle quicker from half-time? We shall see as this quarter unfolds. Great baseline. Cook is going to do that all day if we let her.
Yes, and obviously as defenders you need to think of what you can do to actually limit that baseline run.
So 17 plays 15.
All of a sudden it's just 2 points difference.
Gibraltar yet to score this quarter. And now the gap is 1.
They have started strong this quarter. Good hold there on the circle edge.
She's allowing the goal attack to go back and set the goal.
And as a player, you have to look at the umpire and their signal. and where they're actually asking you to be on court.
You can see Jacqueline Charter looking for that best option. Not necessarily forcing the first shot in.
But a nice finish.
Doing well, absolutely. 18 plays 17. Good drive.
Nice drive there by Truman Davis.
Oh, those are one of those you just want to give a bit of a...
As a shooter, you're probably thinking,
please go in.
Just get in.
Great pressure. So again, wow, Neen has made an instant impact since coming on.
It's just you can see, and you don't tense how they were earlier in the second quarter. It's just seems like a different team on court now. It's just settled in, no nerves, and it's just flowing.
So 19-18, can Gibraltar take another one? They'll get the throw in. Nice pop under the post. Well done to Truman Davis. Sometimes those are the most challenging shots for shooters. 11 minutes just over on the clock. 2018. Gibraltar just maintaining a lead at this stage. Neen wanting that ball, take on the responsibility.
She's had a great third quarter. It's only just been under 5 minutes, but she's been so key and instrumental.
So still only one goal in it. Hernandez taking charge as captain. Oh, misunderstanding there between McQuiston and Hernandez. 2019. Looking for another option.
They're struggling there. Isle of Man have their hands just all over.
Crowd now trying to get behind Gibraltar, lift them. Great lean there by Turner.
That would have been a difficult feed. She had offside there by Hernandez, I believe.
No, I think the umpire on the far side called a foot fault on throw-in. Again, an error you can't really afford in this game.
Oh, good hands there by McQuiston.
Sooner or later, someone will get the ball. So competitive, isn't it? These players going for absolutely everything out there.
And I suppose as an umpire as well, when there's a few people just going for that ball, must not be easy, so they don't have an easy job.
So 3-second call again, great centre court pressure by Isle of Man. Tyler Sue, can see you watching the netball from here. Tournament cancelled tomorrow in the UK because of snow forecast.
Oh.
Bryony.
It's lovely and sunny here in Gibraltar, so just come down.
Cook puts it in and levels the score. 20 goals all.
And an Isle of Man centre pass. She has such great positioning around the circle edge.
Oh, where did she come from? What a great rebound. No blocking out by the defenders, and they've been punished. 21-20 now.
That's why you can't just rely on height. You have to block out as much as possible and not allow them to get that rebound. A lovely ball there by Hernandez to Truman Davis.
She pulls one back. 9-4 this quarter so far. 21 all.
You could just hear everyone cheering both teams on.
It's great, isn't it? Really supportive. Isle of Man 22, Gibraltar 21. So when their nose went a bit behind yesterday, Gibraltar struggled to keep up with the game. What can they do today, do you think, Bryony? Do you think they'll have learned from yesterday?
I hope they have, especially if they've actually watched some bits back and been told what they actually did wrong and how to focus and regroup. Isle of Man getting that ball. To think the Isle of Man have already scored when they finished on the second quarter by 11 and now the 22. So obviously these changes were key in this third quarter.
They're 10-4 up in this quarter at the moment. This could pull one back for them. Truman Davis opting to pop it to Garo. Nice play by these two. 22 all, 6.5 minutes to go.
This is going to be the last 6 minutes of this quarter.
Oh, you
what
see
a
how
nice
Jacqueline Charter was watching. She waited, and
was
they're
just
rewarded.
So patient then. She didn't throw the ball that second earlier.
23-22. Now Gibraltar under pressure to score off their centre pass.
They are finding it difficult using the attacking centre pass. They're using their defence quite a bit to get through and out of that centre pass.
So Turner rewarded for the speed of her hands coming around the shooter. Keeping it safe. Sensible play by Isle of Man. Just couldn't keep that one in. Can't just stand and ask for the ball. You've got to give an option there, which is so 23 still, 29. 5 minutes left. Nice, good, strong drive by Perkis Guylan.
A nice feed there in to Garo. 23.
23 all. Shouldn't have had you on this game. You're going to get really excited as we head towards the last quarter.
Nice pressure there by Gaetano, forcing that error.
So lovely to have Deb Buffy back with us again, watching all these talented and inspiring young role models. She's going to be tuning in to see Ireland play Malta for our last game this evening as well. Just hand on the ball by Turner. 24-23 in Gibraltar's favour. So they've
I wouldn't want to be them on court right now. Both teams are trying so hard to fight for that ball.
You're used to this lastminute.com, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's something that it's a trait maybe.
3 goals down and level the game, and look at that. That will really lift this Gibraltar side, 25-23.
I think it's actually worse being on the sideline than when you're actually playing. Oh, what an interception there. She was so well read.
Quick 3 seconds. Neen.
Oh, unlucky
she's
there.
So fast. Coming in to get that rebound.
I don't think anyone expected her to just like fly by.
There's a little bit of hesitation now on the ball from Gibraltar. Not really sure where the options are always. Not giving the ball cleanly. You can see they feel the pressure. Truman Davis,
they are saying slow it down, slow it down.
Possession. to go.
We haven't seen a lot of stage 2 from Gibraltar. They need to get their arms up and make it difficult.
So, another opportunity. Isle of Man will be putting the pressure on.
See another injury time being called.
So Hernandez coming off again. Pozo going back to centre.
And Hernandez going in as wing defence.
Okay, so let's see.
There was good pressure there, making it difficult for McQuiston to get the ball.
Ooh, pop could have been there if she's seen into it. Great pressure by Shepherd. Turner leads.
What
a
nice
great
shot.
shot by Garrow. So 26-23 and Gibraltar centre pass. Turner not quite able to get her hand to that one.
Good rebound there by Garrow. Both being called out.
So just a bit of light emerging between these two teams now with just under 2 minutes to go. 27-23.
And another footwork called. They are relying on that height and that pass, but if they are able to stop that pass, they would find it difficult getting the ball up along the court.
I think when they were under pressure yesterday, they resorted to the aerial ball, and that just didn't work for them all the time. Isle of Man really putting pressure on the front of that circle. Shepherd.
Oh, unlucky there.
Speed.
Another nice rebound.
Wow.
And making it 28-23. So just under a minute. It will be Gibraltar's ball. Now, how will they do with these last few seconds? Isle of Man will be putting a huge amount of pressure on. Good rotation in the circle. Outside the circle and feed into it.
And a great confident shot again by Garrow. 29-23. Isle of Man have 15 seconds. What a great visionary pass. Great defence there by Gibraltar, not giving them any options. Now they need
just
to keep
a few
it clean,
seconds.
no penalty pass. So, no goal.
What
given.
a quarter.
And as we see the teams head to the benches, 29 goals against 23, and it really was a quarter of two halves here, Bryony.
I think we saw Isle of Man coming in so strong in the first half of that third quarter, and it did take Gibraltar a good few minutes to get into it. But then they just came back, and we've just seen some lovely shooting on both ends. Good baseline drives from Isle of Man especially, and they're just so key in that, and they just need to focus on that as well.
So at one stage, about halfway through that quarter, Isle of Man were leading 10-4, and at the end, Gibraltar took that quarter 12-11, so really came back strongly.
You can never say what's going to happen, because look what's just happened again. They came back, they fought so much, and they just have to continue working hard.
Now,
their changes in the third quarter were instrumental there. They started so strong. Took a while for, like I said, Gibraltar to come back into it, and I just hope they continue with that fight and grit.
So the changes for Isle of Man certainly helped settle the team there when they came back on at half-time. A really strong quarter for them. Likewise the same, I think it's the second quarter so far that's punished them. So Isle of Man really need to come out strongly, capitalise on what they did in the beginning, and just see where they go. So At this stage, as you've just brightly pointed out, Gibraltar on 29 was their score at full time in October last year. So, gosh, amazing game.
Anything can happen, and it's quite a low scoring game actually, but both teams are fighting. They haven't given up, and that's what you want to see. You want to see these youngsters just fight till the very end, and it's great to see that both teams are cheering their players on. It's not just about who's on court, it's about a team playing together.
And of course, Gibraltar had experience only yesterday of a 6-goal lead at three-quarter time against Switzerland. And unfortunately, they didn't close the game out.
Yes, they didn't close the game. They probably, like I said, they probably analysed that match and they've been told on what to do. And it's crucial at this age to move forward. They need to think of what they've been told to do and not focus on what they did yesterday. They need to look forward, and they do have a match tomorrow as well. So both teams need to give it their all right now.
So everything to play for as we prepare to see the last 15 minutes of what we expected to be a key game this weekend, and it's proving to be exactly that way.
Yes, Lynn. Isle of Man haven't lost. Gibraltar lost to Switzerland yesterday, so if Gibraltar win, then obviously both teams are on the same level of playing field, so tomorrow is going to be crucial. It's going to be interesting, so I hope you're watching and tune with us tomorrow.
So remember, if you are watching, give us a shout out, hashtag NE Under 17 Challenge. This game has everything, thrills, spills, end-to-end netball.
I don't think we've seen any changes, because if I were a coach I wouldn't actually change, but then again I respect them so much for doing what they do.
So here we go, Gibraltar first centre pass. They need to keep this ball clean.
Gibraltar looking back at that reset, using that transverse line.
So umpire giving really clear instructions to the players. Great defence by Isle of Man. There is no space in there. Unlucky the ball came off Shepherd's foot there.
Good circle edge there by Perkins Garland, and a nice pop there by Garo.
Good rebound by Truman Davis. Important goal for them, scoring off their first centre pass, 30-23.
This is what I saw earlier from the Isle of Man. Their transition was so quick.
Better by Hartman there, didn't allow Cook the space on the baseline. Seven goals, the difference between these two sides. And there you can hear the 13th player in the crowd.
Gibraltarians are loud, so if you see anyone around, they're probably Gibraltarians.
So, good start by Gibraltar, 31-23. It's great to see all the sides here this weekend have a huge amount of travelling support. Too much airtime on that one. Turner to bring the ball in.
There's a nice drive there. Oh, lovely interception there by McQuiston. She read it so well. That high ball into the circle.
Well held. Unlucky there by Turner. Truman gets a second opportunity. 32-23. Isle of Man yet to score in this quarter.
It's a different quarter to what they started in the first quarter. They were so strong in that third quarter, but they haven't given up, and they're just going for all those interceptions or balls that they can get. So
Isle of Man pull one back. 8 goals. The difference between these two sides.
Nice baseline drive there by Truman Davis. And a pop into her goal attack arrow. Making it 33 to Gibraltar, 24 to the Isle of Man.
9 goals now, the difference.
Good pressure by Hartman there. Isle of Man baseline ball.
Giving them no space on the baseline there.
The crowd's going again. You can hear them picking up.
So quick.
Good patience there and a very nice feed by Jacqueline Chapman.
Cook just couldn't quite keep that ball in. So 4 minutes gone until we reach the end of this quarter. With a 9-goal lead, Gibraltar will need to just capitalise, play safe.
And score off their centre passes.
And not make ball handling errors. Isle of Man, on the other hand, have got to play with a better pace, get the ball down, get some shooting opportunities.
Footwork. It's another one. They could be tired now. They had an early start this morning.
Into Garrow, she's looking for an option.
Their defense is just working so hard, trying to make it difficult for them.
And gets the reward. Turner comes out with the possession. Pitsy in a wing defense there, being effective. Neen being good too. She came late again. Same
Another
thing,
one.
late take-off.
It's just a pity because they work so hard bringing the ball up.
Turner calling her defenders back. Good turn by Shepherd there, but they just didn't shut the back door. Truman Davis says thank you very much. And now we have a 10-goal game, 34-24.
But there's still 10 minutes in it, so you can never say who's going to come up with a win at the end.
The curse of the footwork here this weekend. Shepherd. Oh, well read there. Too much airtime on that ball. The Christians all over it.
She has had a good game. She has that height advantage.
Lovely shooting again by Truman Davis. So, who would you say are the outstanding players for both sides today, Brian Lee?
I think I've liked both defense units. They've actually brought a lot of good things. I think McQuiston from Gibraltar, the goal defense, has been good and instrumental in getting those interceptions. From the Isle of Man, I think their centre, Jacqueline Chapa, hasn't given up at all. But then their attack has also been key. So it's so difficult to say because everyone brings something so unique to the match and everyone has their own role to play.
The double penalty gives Gibraltar a comfortable 36-24 goal lead. Still 8 minutes on the clock, still time in this game.
Seen it one too many times, especially playing here, and you never know what can happen. You just have to keep in it and obviously keep going and scoring off your centre passes.
Nice, really good understanding being shown by Garrow and Truman Davis. 13 goals now, the difference, 37-24.
And another error. I don't know whether now they are tired. It could be.
So Gibraltar in the fortunate position of only playing once today. They did their double-header yesterday. Although every team here this weekend has to play twice in a day.
And it is tough because just when you're starting to relax, you have to get back into it. But it's sometimes not the physical aspect of it. It's how you can mentally approach and start that match.
So 38-24. I'm looking at the score from last October, wondering if it's going to be an exact reverse of the result then. Great shot again by Truman Davis.
I do not know whether the Isle of Man lost any players that they had last year. I do know Gibraltar lost 2 players, so most of their core players are still the same, which does help year after year when you're actually coming and playing in these tournaments. And that was a lovely shot there.
Neen taking on the responsibility there. 39-25, 6 minutes left. Janice Marino reaching out to us here on Twitter. Somebody you know very well.
Yes, she actually just texted me that she's somewhere and had to escape into a room to be able to watch the match because she was in a private function. And she's so happy for the girls at the moment, especially as she's been the coach over the last few years. She's away in Scotland at the moment for the next few years, but she's been praising them and obviously giving them some tips.
So it's great to have you with us, Janice. We hope you're enjoying the netball live from Gibraltar here. As you can see, they've now put 40 on the board, 25 to Isle of Man. Great pressure again by the defensive unit. Hernandez there at wing defense.
Just 5 minutes to go, and that's when you think, were the changes in the second quarter, was that instrumental?
Yeah.
Because who knows what could have happened in the second quarter, even though they did come up and they did equalize, but they could have pulled through earlier.
So with 5 minutes still to go, Isle of Man have the turnover, looking for the long ball into Cook. Neen taking the front cut.
Neen finding it difficult to obviously stop McQuestion, obviously due to the height advantage.
Swinging the ball round and then taking the front drive, giving options in there. She's going to take it on, rightly so, 41-26.
4 minutes to go, and another error.
So I think we are probably safe to say it looks like this is going to be a home win here today, Bryony.
It is, but it makes it so much more interesting tomorrow because obviously Isle of Man have lost and so have Gibraltar. So then tomorrow, Gibraltar, Switzerland play against the Isle of Man at 10 a.m. and then Gibraltar take on the Republic of Ireland. So it's going to be so interesting tomorrow. So I hope you tune in and watch. What a lovely interception there by McQuestion.
Brilliant play now. This crowd really lifting the home side. Isle of Man really need to continue putting pressure. Good phase 2 defence.
If you can hear the crowd, I think I can hear and name a few people, which I won't, because one of them is my mother, even though I'm not playing. And another one is Boss's dad. But yes, it's always great to play on home court. Just over 2.5 minutes to go, and a contact being called.
Nice.
Good rebound there by Gato.
And she slots that one in. 42 against 26 with just over 2 minutes remaining. Just looking at the combinations of who's doing what at the moment. Switzerland 3 out of 3. Gibraltar will be 2 out of 3 after this game, if the scoreline remains the same. Isle of Man, 2 out of 3. Ireland still to get on the scoreboard, as have Malta, but Ireland are playing later on this evening against Malta. So
you never know what can happen, and that's what makes it so interesting, because you just want to fight for every ball, and they just have to keep on going, because you never know, like we saw last year, if it comes down to goal difference.
So this has been an absolutely huge quarter for Gibraltar. They've pinned Isle of Man down to only 3 goals this quarter so far.
I think it was the second quarter, which was obviously the one that they got most. But we've seen a change now. Hartman coming off and Mena coming on as goalkeeper.
So a really decisive quarter here for Gibraltar so far. Offside in the circle.
Oh, nice interception there.
Well read by Shepherd.
Another footwork called. Just over a minute to go. Will Gibraltar be able to convert? And for Gibraltar, Rowe comes in at wing attack.
Centre?
The centre is Griffin coming in at centre.
So a huge 44-27 in these last few seconds of this game. Every goal could count here if it comes down to goal difference, so Isle of Man shouldn't lose sight of that.
Definitely. Like I said, you have to carry on going for until the whistle goes, so.
Nice. Cut to the front. Unfortunate there, McQuiston just getting called. Timing's been really good on her second stage defence. 44-28. This really probably is the last play of this game. Can they get it in the circle? Get a shot up? She can't shoot from there because her foot was out.
Yep, but she went for it.
Not sure why the umpire didn't see that. But there we go. At the end of what has been a really good game of netball here at the 10th Centenary Sports Hall in Gibraltar, we see the home side emerge winners, 44 goals to 28. Bryony, thoughts on that?
It was such an exciting match to watch. Like I said, it's probably worth watching than actually playing. I think both teams came on court and both brought different things during different quarters. I don't know whether Isle of Man, having played this morning, it didn't work in their advantage. They seemed a little bit tired, but they did have a very strong second quarter. But too many changes. Did that have an effect?
Well, the coaches will probably have to reflect tonight and think about what they do between now and tomorrow morning, because they have another really critical game against Switzerland in the morning, Isle of Man.
Yeah, and if you don't get the opportunities like these, you never know what changes you need to make and when. So sometimes you do have to go with your gut instinct and make these changes. So it might not be beneficial, but maybe they've learned from this.
Well, we will be staying here to bring you the last game of today, Malta versus Ireland, going out live, local time at 6 o'clock. Brian Ravino, thank you so much for being with us today. Really appreciated it.
Thank you so much. It's been actually so interesting and exciting being here. And obviously, I want to thank you for this opportunity.
And of course, our thanks go to Netball Europe, Inspire Sport, the Gibraltar Netball Association, QTV Sports and Gib Media, all the volunteers here and around the region who make our sport possible. And to all of you at home, I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't go too far. Join us back here shortly. Thank you.